Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome to the last episode of the TNT podcast in 2018.
Damn, I was going to say
I
forever.
thought you were going to say forever.
No,
I thought you were going to say
was-
forever.
that was kind of what the joke I was going for. Like,
Damn, I was hoping.
I should have gone with I meant to go with a longer pause, to freak everybody out. Last show of 2018.
18, yeah.
Give everyone that second to be like, does he mean ever? No. As always, I am here with my two co-hosts. On my right.
Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
And on my left. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was just going to
There's a
go
real-
right.
Oh, wait.
No, it's a really
wait,
long
the pause?
pauses.
No, I know.
Pause.
I was kind of waiting for Tyler to just pick it up from there, but I forgot I usually do the left as well. So
Yeah,
on
see? I mean, I was going to do it just be like, just Tyler.
my left.
Only Tyler. There's only one Tyler, and it's me. It's just Tyler.
It's just this Tyler, no other.
So
It's just
hopefully,
this Tyler.
that'll be the last awkward long pause in the entire podcast.
You know that's a fucking
It's a huge lie.
lie. The dead air is...
So not to to jump right into the news, just because. So we're gonna have a fun retrospective. We're gonna hit some highlights of 2018. We're gonna go through some of our favorite stuff of the year to kind of end on a hot note. But before we get that, we are gonna cover some news, the last news of the year, before we miss anything over Christmas. But it's kind of starting off a little sad, mostly just personally for me. And it kind of plays into the fact that you guys thought I was going to say the podcast was ending forever. I've mentioned them a lot on here, but the Best Friend cast, the Super Best Friends, the guys they're like the only Let's Players I watch anymore on YouTube. I've been watching them for a long time. They suddenly put out a video on Sunday saying that they're done.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, it started out with two guys, these guys Matt and Pat, who started doing videos for Machinima, actually, to tell you how long ago it was,
Oh, man.
9 years ago. And I think I started watching in 2010, 2011, during their second season on Machinima. And then they picked up this other guy, Wooly, who was a friend of Pat's, I think, and then this other guy, Liam. About 2 years ago, Liam left the group, and then they put out this video on Sunday that basically said, yeah, Matt and Pat haven't actually been friends for a while, and for about a year now, they've all been starting to do their own projects, like streaming, edited videos, just stuff on their own, and apparently they're just done, and it's not super awful. I mean, I did still watch them as the only Let's Play stuff I really watched, but they've all been doing pretty interesting stuff on their own. I haven't watched all of it because one of them is Pat's a Twitch streamer, and I really have almost no interest in those. And honestly, I've watched a little, and I don't think it's that entertaining. But the guy Matt, he does cool videos and cool edited stuff, and the guy Wooly is a big fighting game guy. Tyler, again, the guy who playing into the stereotype.
Yup, see?
But yeah, this is just kind of sad for me because it's just one of those things that, it was the only real group that was kind of like an institution. You see ebb and flow like JonTron, but you've never heard JonTron announcing he's done. They just kind of fade away, or their videos are all old and still really good. But it's kind of
I mean, you kind of had the same thing happen when Game Grumps broke up, except instead of
I didn't watch
saying,
Game Grumps though, so yeah.
So as someone who hated Game Grumps but loved both the creators individually, I was both happy and sad because the Grumps did have some good content. I didn't watch all their Let's Plays, but with them, when they left it, they were both kind of we want to do our own thing, and they wouldn't comment on whether they were or weren't friends. And the biggest leading theory was they're not friends anymore. They don't want to do this. Except then when they who was it? It was JonTron did the Star Wars series, and the seventh one, Aaron's I just want to show up for this. It was all right, cool. They're still kind of buddies.
Yeah.
They just don't want to work together all the time anymore.
Yeah, no, that's fair. This was actually kind of rough because it was literally they weren't even all together. They all three guys filmed their own little segments, and then they edited it together later, and they gave links to all their individual stuff. And literally the guy Wooly is Matt and Pat aren't friends anymore, and it's wow, that's pretty harsh. Damn.
Yeah.
They ain't fucking with each other no more.
A lot of people on Reddit were yeah, it seems like Matt's been kind of passive-aggressive for a little while, and they weren't really recording together. It was a lot of Matt and Wooly and Pat and Wooly doing stuff together. The podcast, unfortunately, it was my favorite podcast every week, but apparently Pat and Wooly in a few weeks are going to resurrect it under a new name. So I'll still be able to make references to their new podcast, is where I get all my news from every week.
Nice.
But yeah, it's not, like I said, not earth-shattering. And obviously they still have tons of old stuff I've never watched, because I never was the kind of person to watch that unless it was a Let's Play I was really interested in, just watch it every day. But yeah, kind of a sad way to start right at the end of the year, because apparently I think people were saying also Christmas 2 years ago is when Liam announced he was leaving. Personally, I didn't super like the guy, but a lot of people did so.
This has kind of like a reputation in the community.
Yeah, a lot of people on Reddit were like, "Why is Christmas always the worst time?" But yeah, but let's go to something.
Well, before we move to game news, just because we're on podcast, just in terms of the good news, for anyone who listens to the Command Zone podcast, one of the two co-hosts, Jimmy Wong, has returned to the podcast. He was gone for like the last year. He actually is going to be in the new live-action Mulan movie, so he was out filming that for the last couple months. But I think yesterday they released their first episode with him back on the podcast. So if anyone watches Command Zone, it's back to the classic duo of Jimmy and Josh.
Oh yeah, I did see a headline on the Magic subreddit that was like final episode with this guy DJ who's been filling in.
Yeah, DJ wasn't bad. I kind of like him because he disagrees with Josh a lot, so you got some pretty good discussion.
I honestly haven't listened to that podcast in a while. They not to sound like super edgy or anything, but it felt like they got really, like, they have all this sponsored stuff now and everything, and a lot of their stuff's I don't know how much of it I agree with.
I mean, game nights feel super sponsored, but their actual discussions are pretty good.
Okay.
It really depends on the topic. Like today the comeback topic was how do you deal with a bad play group? And for that, it's like, this sounds like interpersonal shit. I'm just here to talk about Magic cards. So
yeah.
I like some I don't. Or it was like how to deal with like players who only play degenerate decks, like stuff like that, where it's like, my suggestion is play this card. Like that's what I want. I don't want to hear, well, go take them to therapy and explain to them. Like,
oh dear God. And most people can't be like, oh, go find another store to go to.
I mean, they usually don't suggest that. A lot of theirs are like how to fix a bad situation, but it's good to listen to while you're doing something else. I'll put it that way.
Fair.
I listen to them a lot while I'm working.
I actually stopped listening to the EDH Rec podcast. I fell a few weeks behind, and they were always kind of stale sounding. They sounded very not rehearsed, but they sounded very like they had planned out what they were going to say, and that they weren't really spontaneous, and none of them really sounded like they were super having fun. So I kind of stopped listening to that. Have you watched Extra Turns on Command Zone?
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
Is it the one where it's the behind the scenes?
No. It's
well, not the behind the scenes. It's like they do it's kind of like game nights, but it's not.
Yes, it's basically game nights without any of the sponsorship or anything, and less editing, but still more than enough to be interesting, and just straight magic. And I'm like, I can't watch game nights anymore because the reality show shit is annoying. Extra Turns is fucking great.
I like both of them.
I can't stand the, I was really hoping for this card. Let's zoom in on his face. It's like, I don't know. I just want to watch Commander.
It's kind of tongue in cheek. I like it.
I just want to watch people play Magic.
Anyway, let's not do Magic.
They're just talk about things that aren't Magic.
Right,
anyway,
so
no one needs to talk about the Game Awards because Tyler wants to, so we're just gonna avoid it while he's making weird noise. Oh my God. So the Game Awards happened, not this past weekend, but I believe it was the weekend before. A bunch of cool stuff came out of it. A ton of cool trailers.
God of War 1.
God of War 1 Game of the Year, which is
not
best.
Surprised.
A lot of people are happy about it because
I'm surprised.
Why?
I am surprised. I'm surprised Fortnite
didn't it win a different award, like
because
another
best
show?
ongoing game. Best ongoing title. Like
no. I'm saying at another award show.
Yeah.
For one Game of the Year. No,
really?
Not.
There's a different game award. Not the Game Awards. There's a different video game award show that gave Fortnite Best Game of 2018, despite the fact that Fortnite came out in 2016.
Well, besides the fact that it's not actually that good to play. Not that I know, but I like.
I was like, not that you'd know.
I definitely wouldn't know. Anyway, we're talking
fun.
about other cool news, though. I'm scrolling through a list. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Don't know what that is. Journey to the Savage Planet. Don't know what that is. Stanley Parable. I know that was a big meme for a while. Among Trees. Don't know what that is.
Jesus.
Marvel Ultimate
Wait,
Alliance
Stanley
3.
Parable's
Who
also
cares?
not new. What happened?
It's called Ultra Deluxe, so it's probably either a real release or an expanded version or a sequel or something.
Okay.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, I think some people were excited about that, but I have no idea. Rocket League got a McLaren. Far Cry New Dawn. Hey, look, it's another cover for Far Cry that shows a bunch of people looking at the camera with a goof. Remember when Far Cry's covers weren't all just like people
Goofy
with
shit.
guns and lots of colorful scenery everywhere doing something weird with guns?
Every
Hasn't it been for,
single
like, the
Far
last
Cry cover
3
looks
Far Cry?
exactly the same.
No, like the first few didn't. It was like
It's like everyone's
after
since 3.
Yeah, 3 was the last one. I forget the villain's name, but he was a really cool villain.
Oh, Voss.
Voss, yeah. He was just on the cover with a gun on a beach, and that was at least a little interesting. And then we cut to...
With the dude's head halfway in the sand. That was cool.
Yeah, but now all of them are like array of people looking at camera, and they have like weird skin and hair, and they're fucking doing something strange, and they're holding guns. Wacky, wacky. I don't fucking care.
Wacky. Yo, I'm going to tell you right now. Far Cry peaked with Far Cry 3 and then peaked again with Blood Dragon, and it's never going to happen again. That's my opinion.
Blood Dragon could have been... If Blood Dragon was a full game, I think I would have actually liked it more because it felt really dry and... Like, outside the cutscenes, it was really kind of not amazing, actually.
Yo, it wasn't meant to be a full game.
No,
okay?
I know. But I'm saying I would have actually preferred, instead of all these samey Far Cries, which I admit, apparently they're good, but I just don't give a shit.
No, it's not that. No, they're not that great. Like 4 was like mediocre
5
at fucking best.
I guess 5 has like a base builder or something, because I keep seeing people on r/gaming get to the top with, I created the house from Home Alone in Far Cry, or I created New York City in Far Cry, or something. Like, I don't fucking know.
It sounds dumb.
It's
so,
okay. It's another Far Cry game.
Yeah,
That's all you need to know at this point. Like,
anyone
ever since
who's played a Far Cry game
Knows
post
exactly what they're getting.
from 2 on.
no, 2 and 3 were
knows.
pretty different.
No, but they are fundamentally the same game.
Sure,
It's
but I
just
think they
one you
became
have
a lot.
malaria.
No,
and
but
the other one doesn't.
I think they became a lot more samey after 3. Because I remember I played 2 a long time ago. I've actually thought about replaying it for YouTube. 2 felt a lot more gritty and slow than 3 was the first one. It's like, look at how we're entering the new age of open skies and do all this cool shit with hang gliders and
Which is dumb. I don't understand. No, this is fun. Like this is why I love Far Cry 3 and Blood Dragon. But
Yeah.
how are you gonna rip out like the cool function, like the cool mechanics of like getting these super dumbass animal powers and punching the shit out of people, and running fast? Explain this to me.
Let's keep. We're talking about this too much. We shouldn't even be talking about a new Far Cry game this much. Like, that's the.
But because old Far Cry was so good,
I think I
have
really
you guys
enjoyed
played
3.
the old Far Cry?
No,
I
I
never
haven't.
played 1. I played 2
See,
to completion.
that's
Played
why.
some of 3.
That's
2 to
why.
completion,
See,
and
you
I beat
guys don't
3
even
as well.
know.
What do you
don't
mean
even
old
know.
Are you talking about 1 only?
I'm talking about Far Cry Instincts.
Yeah, I saw a video. That was like a totally different game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
Whatever. You guys
All
are
right.
uncultured swine. Let's
Sure.
move on.
I see you're not a
Hades-
man of culture as well.
None of you are.
Hades is from the guys who made Bastion, and
Oh, I've been seeing stuff for that.
actually, I haven't watched it yet, but the guys who make the gaming documentaries that I watch, No Clip, they are actually doing one of those like in-house following development things apparently that they were working on this whole time. So they just previewed it earlier today, the teaser for that whole thing. I haven't watched it yet. I actually might stop Patreoning those guys money because they really haven't put out much in a while, and I haven't really cared in a while. But anyway, I don't know anything about Hades. Everyone says those games are great. I've never played a game from those guys. I know there's the team who made like that, and Transistor was the other big one.
Yeah.
Apparently they're really good. I've never played them.
I never cared as much, so...
Ancestors, Humankind Odyssey. Don't know what that is, but there's a monkey in the teaser. Scavengers. Don't know. Looks kind of lame. Anthem. We don't need to talk about Anthem.
Yeah, we talked
Crash
enough
Team
about Anthem.
Racing getting a fucking
Wanna
new
try
game is
I'm not
so
surprised.
hilarious.
I'm honestly not surprised.
Because Mario Kart's still doing good, and Crash just came back with his thing, and
The 1, 2, 3
Sony wants a racer.
But from what I saw, it's not like that remake trilogy didn't even do as well as like Spyro.
Yeah, but you have to imagine this was in development before the sales came out, and they probably thought Crash would do great on the heels of Spyro.
Okay.
Outer Worlds, Obsidian firing mad shots across. Yeah, no. Obsidian firing crazy shots across Bethesda's bow with hilarious lines in the trailer, like from the original creators of Fallout.
Yeah, dude.
And the makers of Fallout New Vegas. But actually, Obsidian makes some pretty impressive games. I know that they have their own RPG that they kickstarted and then made a sequel to. I can't remember the name of it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tyler?
Wait, which game?
Obsidian made their own game after they made Fallout.
Oh, God. What was it?
They made a sequel to it, too, and I can't... Pillars of Eternity.
Oh.
That was...
Never mind.
That was like a modern... That was like a modern top-down RPG that wasn't really a loot collector. It was kind of like an old-school RPG, like an old BioWare game, or an old Fallout game. That apparently did well. Then they made 2, and now they've apparently been working on this thing that basically looks like better Fallout.
Stick of Truth.
Yes, that too. This looks like better Fallout and Borderlands in space. Like, this looks... I mean, if Obsidian's making it, I'm going to play it because they made KOTOR 2, one of my favorite games of all time. They made Fallout New Vegas, which is the only Fallout I've ever thought about playing in the modern era. Yeah, I mean, even if I never played it, I would just buy it to support Obsidian because Obsidian seems like developers who really have always done impressive things with always having shitty constraints. And then now that they've been bought by Microsoft, hopefully this game gets the money and time it deserves. And a good engine because they're not using shitty engines anymore.
Yo, for real.
But yeah, I'm hyped for that. Dauntless, I don't know what that is. The Last Campfire, it looks like an indie game.
Sounds like an indie game.
Ashen is apparently kind of like this Dark Souls-y thing that is roguelike. I don't know anything about it, but I heard a little bit of hype. Crackdown 3 is literally just another teaser. We've already talked about that plenty. Me and Tyler are going to do the Let's Play next year. A teaser for a Dragon Age product. I still haven't played Inquisition. I need to. A lot of people want me to, and I will do it for the channel eventually. Dragon Age 2 was a steaming pile of garbage that only seems to get worse over time in my mind, while Origins is still fantastic, and I love Origins. So I need to play Inquisition and see where it falls. But yeah, Dragon Age stuff's happening, I guess. Pathless, don't know what that is. Stranger Things 3, the game? Is that
Wait, they're making a game out of the next season?
Dude, don't ask me. It's on the list. I'm on Polygon. It's in the trailers. I can't watch it while I'm recording. Psychonauts 2. I never played the first one. I heard it had terrible controls, but was really neat. And yeah,
it was just neat.
Tyler had me watch the Mortal Kombat 11 trailer to see just how much hip hop is in one fighting game trailer. There's so much hip hop.
I have not cringed that hard, like, for a game trailer in a while. Not since what was it? About that. What the hell was that game called? With the Mega Man reboot. And they're making fun of nerds. You're gonna cry harder than a nerd on prom night and shit. Do you remember that? It was a dude who made Mega Man. He made Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
The Mighty Number 9 trailer.
Dead by Daylight. Doesn't Luigi play this game? Isn't he?
Luigi is one of the best players in the world at this game.
Actually,
why does it say world premiere trailer? I guess it's like a sequel or something. I honestly,
I think is it in beta?
There's
Maybe?
no still. Hasn't he been playing it for
Fortnite's
like over
still in beta.
DayZ has been in beta since like 2014.
Rage 2, which is only funny because just yesterday I finished my random like when I'm bored playthrough of the original Rage, and that game's still pretty meh. I even played on easy just to dick around and just fucking not even work that hard. But I couldn't care. I couldn't even tell. I think the bad guys are called the Authority, and they're like a military organization that woke up early from the arcs, and you fight them with literally the Resistance. And
I'm upset.
I don't think I could tell you a single character's name. I remember a few of them, but I don't even remember their names at all.
I'm upset because
I finished it yesterday.
I bought that game full priced when it came out.
All right, skipping another battle royale.
Let's
thing.
just keep going. We're spending a lot of time on this, and we want to get to the topic.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. There's only 3 trailers left. Freeman, this one ties into your news, so we're not going to talk about it. Survived by, don't know what that is, although it's cool art style. And Devil May Cry 5. I've actually been super interested in this because Devil May Cry is one of those series I'm never going to play well. I played DMC.
The trailer looks fucking garbage. Like, I don't understand how the fuck... Since 3, they've been making these games even shittier. I don't care.
Wait,
They're
what?
Like, yeah, what are you talking about?
Tyler,
what?
Every single person I watch on YouTube who's mentioned this game is like, this looks fucking amazing.
Absolutely not. I'm not trying to see fucking Gerard Way fucking... No.
Wow.
Every fucking time. No. Everybody's wrong. No. The kids are wrong. The kids are fucking wrong on this. This actually tilts me. I used to like these games, and shit, this actually no, this is bullshit. Let's keep going.
Wow.
If it's any consolation, I went to go play Devil May Cry after thinking it was a cool game series, then couldn't make it into hour 3 of the first game because I hated it so much.
No, let's not. DMC 1 is a hard fucking game.
They all are, I thought. Anyway, that's all the trailers. I'm sure there's more from the Game Awards, but yeah, like Freeman said, let's move on.
Devil May Cry 5. Yeah, let's keep moving on.
Wow. Oh, this is hype news. This is hype as fuck.
Speaking of trailers, let's hear it.
Yeah, I forgot about one more trailer, not from the Game Awards. So, just for context, as we mentioned last time on the podcast, Val and I went home for an early Christmas break because of her work schedule from Friday the 7th to the 12th, Wednesday the 12th. And we spent 2 of those days hanging out with these guys and the rest of our D&D group. And what should come out but during the middle of the day on our second full day of hanging out, but the fucking second trailer for Godzilla. We went over to Tyler and Leslie's house. We threw it on the TV. We watched it 4 total times that night because Freeman showed up late, and then who showed up the latest?
Luigi did.
Luigi showed up the latest, so we watched it 4 total times, and I've watched it multiple times since. This movie looks so fucking good.
It does. I'm gonna have to go back and see the prequel.
Like,
I probably don't have to. I could probably guess what happened.
Oh, you super don't have to. But
if anyone hasn't seen this trailer yet, you really should. If you like giant monsters and shit.
I forget if I thought about tweeting this, but I don't know if I actually did. This is my new Infinity War trailer, because with Infinity War, I was watching that only the first trailer like every day because it set the mood so well, and it got me so hyped, and I knew I didn't need to see another trailer. After the first teaser for this movie, I was like, okay, this isn't enough yet. I'm not going to watch a second more of anything other than rewatching this over and over again until the movie comes out. There is so much cool shit in this trailer. There's Rodan, there's Ghidorah, there's Godzilla, there's Mothra. There's at least one more monster that we don't actually know which one it is yet. The fucking CGI looks so cool. Some of the shots are amazing. That shot of Godzilla and Gojira with his wings open. Fuck, it's so awesome. I'm so excited for this movie.
Yeah, the effects look really good. I'm going to give it that much. It looks very impressive. As long as they can tie it together with a good story. That's probably like the biggest problem that any monster movie has. If they can land the having a good story part, it'll be 10 out of 10.
Freeman, clearly you've never watched
Brothers 2.
Freeman, clearly you've never watched any Godzilla movie.
I've seen enough Godzilla movies to illustrate this is an issue.
Listen, as long as what's his face isn't in any more from Godzilla 2000.
What?
What the fuck's his name? Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not. You know he's not. Oh my god.
Come on,
Anyway,
Matthew
I know.
Broderick.
I'm just saying though.
all right, we can stop talking about how amazing Godzilla looks. Oh, actually, another trailer came out. The Avengers trailer, Infinity,
yeah.
Endgame.
Like that came out after.
That came
our
out on
last episode?
Friday. No. That came out, yeah, because that came out the day Val and I were driving back. I saw it at lunch and then made her watch it when we left to go home. So yeah, that came out since last time. Yeah, Avengers Endgame. Probably not going to watch another trailer because this just sets the mood. This is still depressing from the end of the last movie.
Yay,
Yeah.
depression.
Don't worry, it's fine. No one's gonna die in this movie. It's gonna be fine.
Uh-huh.
Everything's fine.
Val literally just sat there not moving for 10 minutes after I showed her the trailer.
Honestly, I don't even think it was that
I don't
big.
know. I didn't think the trailer was that good.
No, it's
Yeah.
not about how good it is. It's about the fact that it brings up emotions that were buried since the last time she saw Infinity War.
That's fine.
I don't know, man. I don't consider emotions that I've parted with in the last 12 months to be buried.
Freeman, you are not a female who has a crush on a Marvel character.
Hey, man, I think Black Widow's attractive.
Yeah.
Yo, Black
Thank you
Widow
Thank you for
Has-
proving my point, Freeman.
has got the childbearing hips.
Oh my fucking god. Freeman, I'm sure you added this. I don't actually know
What?
what you're talking about with this
Yes,
story.
more Blizzard controversies. This company cannot catch a break. So over the weekend, they had announced some restructuring to a lot of their esports, and one of those announcements was they're just essentially dropping esports coverage for Heroes of the Storm, which was interesting because they didn't like give anyone in the industry advance notice. So a lot of casters and people who work behind the scenes, they were just all laid off all at once. And everyone's kind of confused, like, what the hell? Like, why are you suddenly putting this game on life support? Like, you just put all this money into it last quarter for esports prizes. And then, of course, since everyone at Blizzard really loves leaking shit, internally, there's a big memo going out that Activision is pushing that going into 2019, they need to cut spending drastically and cut as many corners as possible. So we might be finally starting to see the first nail in the coffin for Blizzard here, because this is
Yeah,
like,
they're gonna
this is getting
die.
real. This is Activision saying,
Yeah.
okay, you guys are done being creative and having fun. Either you make money or you make money. Pick one.
Yeah, Activision.
So
I
this is
Oh yeah, because their practices are going so fucking well outside of Call of Duty.
yeah, right.
No. I'm saying like this is because of the merger. Activision's kind of
No, I
Feels
know.
like Activision-
For a
I'm
while
saying
they let
though,
Blizzard do their thing. Now they're kind of like, all right, well, you fucked up 3 times. Now let us fuck up the next.
well, that's what I'm
15.
saying. They're implying like, oh, like because Destiny's a big fucking success. Granted, I'm playing Destiny now, which I said I
Big
never
success.
would. It's not a success.
huge success.
Hey, they got you
Yeah.
to pay for it.
They got
Yeah,
me.
They got my money too. Fucking hell.
Fucking horse shit. But was there? I think there was something else, wasn't there?
From
Like with
from-
Blizzard.
With Blizzard,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been talking a lot about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in just the last week.
last 2 weeks.
Jeff made a comment on the Overwatch forums just talking about like what's going on. And he said basically they're working on a lot of cool stuff that they don't know if it's going to make it into the final games. Like they're exploring other game modes. He
Mhm.
said he literally cannot talk about them, and even if he did, they'd be like at least a year out. So there is like
Holy shit.
long-term development happening for Overwatch. He said in the meantime they are taking another look at how they're going to do events because they've realized the community's not happy about it. That said, they do still have the current plan of just like they have a team that just does like skins and shit for the events, and they're still doing their thing.
Mm.
But he said that like we're looking into other things to do as well, on top of the planned cadence for hero releases. At the last, I think it was the end of BlizzCon, Jeff said they already had the next 6 heroes planned, and they were already aware of the fact that like tank and support selections are kind of limited at the moment. So that said, it sounds like they have 6 tanks and supports in the wings ready to go within the next year. So Overwatch is like the only thing they're active like funding dev money into outside of all the mobile projects for their other IPs, and then whatever WoW expansion comes out in
I was gonna say
a
WoW's
year?
probably still getting some money.
Yeah, so I was talking to Luigi about this. So the team that did Battle for Azeroth is the same one that did whatever the last shitty expansion was. So basically, it's every other one is good. So the team that did the last good one is the one who's doing the next one. So people still have some hope there. But let me. This is my prediction right now. If the next WoW expansion tanks, this is going to be it.
Damn.
Like there's been a huge drop off of like since vanilla players with this patch in particular.
That sucks.
So this might be the end of the Blizzard era. But you know what
Well, it was a good run, I guess.
It was a fun era. But you know what other era is coming to an end? The era where I can make the joke that Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't out yet.
Oh,
Nah.
Freeman, come on. There's still
Yes.
way too much time for them to find a way.
Oh no, I still don't believe.
No,
See?
look, it's happening. So, a couple different things happened. First was I think it was the Friday that we were, I don't know if it was the Friday we were hanging out or something was going on, but the Kingdom Hearts 3 opening movie dropped. I think it was while we were hanging out over the weekend.
I think
And
so. I feel like
was
you
like,
talked
I'm
about
sitting there the whole time, like, I want to watch this. And the second I got to my car, I watched it. And the opening video is really, well done. It's got a lot of fighting, 4K CG, whatever. But the real thing is, this is the first time we hear the Utada Hikaru Skrillex, not mashup, collaboration for the opening song.
it.
Sounds like a fucking mashup.
And like, it wasn't. So Skrillex wasn't the problem on the song. He gave them the most generic sounding EDM song I've heard. Like, if you open up Rocket League, this could be like the opening menu.
Jesus.
The problem is, Utada Hikaru can't write an English song. It's becoming very apparent with her last couple releases. To the point where she just like takes a phrase and repeats it 5 times, and that's the song. So Skrillex worked with that, and it was okay, but I really don't like the direction it took the song. So that said, both songs featured for Kingdom Hearts 3 are stinkers. But moving along, the game has already leaked, so I can confirm to you right now it's done because someone got a hold of the entire leaked copy of the game. And Square Enix can't do anything about this right now. So they went out to say, like, we're doing everything we can to mitigate the issue, even though there's literally nothing they can do at this point. So now the internet is now split in half between the reading the spoilers and the not reading the spoilers group. Fortunately, and I don't know if this is good or bad, Director Tetsuya Nomura went on the record saying that with the version of the game on disc, you can't actually see the secret ending movie. You need the day one patch for that to be unlocked. And everyone is, and now I'm conflicted about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because one of the reasons that they delayed Final Fantasy 15 by 2 months was they're like, well, we don't expect everyone to download the day one patch. It has to be complete on disc. And then Nomura comes out and goes, yeah, I didn't even fucking put the video on the disc. You have to download it.
Good.
God damn.
So I'm personally, as someone who downloads the day one patch, I really don't give a shit. It just means that, the final spoilers aren't going to get leaked. But knowing me, I'm not going to beat this game in time to avoid getting spoiled, which is going to suck anyway.
No, I legitimately think that's that's totally fine.
I think it's a good compromise to avoid leaking.
I fucking thought it was fine when Microsoft wanted their always online console, and that's probably was too far. But having how many people are actually gaming on a modern console that don't have any internet access whatsoever? It's got to be
small group of people.
Well, I mean,
small.
I mean, for Xbox One, you need to have an internet connection for first time setup.
Is it not the same for Sony?
No,
I don't think so. But the idea would being, let's say you set up your Xbox, and then you decide I'm going on vacation to the middle of Africa, and you don't have internet, but for some reason you have access to a brand new copy of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Already.
You can't watch the final scene.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking saying. It's bullshit.
That's the one scenario where this is a problem, but it really shouldn't be too big of an issue.
I remember
they
the
really
story.
need to consider their fans that are going to remote parts of fucking Africa. Yo,
look,
dude.
I remember when Microsoft said the Xbox was supposed to be always on the internet for anything, and everyone was like, "What if you go on a submarine?" And he said, "Buy an Xbox 360."
Yes, that's what they sound like, sucking dick.
Even that fucking scenario doesn't work, because if you're not buying a new game on a submarine, I think having a day one patch that is how you unlock the game is a fantastic way to stop this bullshit about leaking games.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I got internet.
Freeman,
some of the internet doesn't bother me, but I'm concerned about what happens down the line. So here's a very legitimate issue I have, especially when it comes to doing the download only for your games. if and when they shut down services, like Nintendo, they shut down the Wii's online service only like 3 years after the Wii U came out. Nintendo DS had its online cut off at the same time, only 2 years into the 3DS's life cycle. So Nintendo is known for cutting off their services early. With Sony, I'm sitting here going like, when is the PS3 going to lose PSN support? Because there's no way they're going to support it forever. And when they do that, it means any game you downloaded can never be re-downloaded. If you get a new PS3, you can't put your downloaded games on that. So the concept of being locked into needing to get these updates from someone, you know, if for now it's not an issue. 5 years down the line, not an issue. 10 years, hope it's not an issue. But once you get to the point where the PS3 and PS4 are considered retro game consoles, that's when this becomes a problem. And it's like a far down the line problem that I'm just kind of thinking about now.
That is a super fair issue. But I feel like, as horrible as it sounds, I feel like that'll either be an issue or just not an issue, because it's going to come down to, if they try to pull that like pulling it off and not letting anyone get updates anymore, there's either going to be an outcry or there isn't. And if there isn't, that means there's just not enough people.
No, because
you mean people that just don't care.
I'm going to be in the group of people that cares and gets left behind, and I can feel it.
Same. No, because I'm also a doomsday prepper too.
No, you're not wrong, but like, I don't know. It's such a murky area.
Like, I want you to take what's Woody Harrelson's character in Zombieland, except it's me looking for a patched copy of Kingdom Hearts 3. That's the scenario I'm picturing.
I'm sorry, I'm dying. Like, I haven't seen that movie in so long, and just God damn it, let's keep going.
Anyway, moving on. So no, I'm still in Kingdom Hearts, but all right, what do you want to say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, what if a thing they do is they have, like, I mean, at this point, pretty much every game comes out that matters has a Game of the Year edition, whether or not it wins a Game of the Year award anywhere. Like, what if the Game of the Year edition? I mean, they usually have the updates baked in, right?
Yeah, probably. So whenever they come out with Kingdom Hearts 3.5 complete trilogy prologue grouping, whatever the fuck they name it, it's gonna be 3.5. When 3.5 comes out, which has literally every Kingdom Hearts game up to date for the PS5, then they'll probably all be patched on disc. So this, in particular, this one really shouldn't be that big of an issue. It's just kind of a general.
All right, we'll keep going. This is such a thing; it could almost be a topic.
So they dropped the final Kingdom Hearts trailer in all languages on all social media platforms. Xbox channel had it. PS4 channel has it up. This shows a lot of fight scenes, a lot of build up for what's essentially the final battle of this Kingdom Hearts saga. They have both the original songs for this in the trailer. If you haven't heard either of these disappointments yet, feel free to watch that. But the trailer is really exciting. It made me actually care about the Kingdom Hearts plot again, to the point that I started playing Dream Drop Distance again after saying I was going to. Yeah, this trailer looks dope. Go watch it. But that's it for Kingdom Hearts news.
Unrelated to that, I rewatched all of ProZD's skits the other day, and
his Kingdom Hearts are the best.
that was the one that I saw.
Tim, you need to include a link in the description so they can at least watch the one where it's like, "Will the darkness defeat the light?"
Oh, that. See, I rewatched all of them, but I also have been yesterday I rewatched the same two a whole bunch. The first one was the one about filler anime, and the other one was fan subs versus official subs. Sorry.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Where it's just like. It's just like the family-friendly version of Naruto versus Sasuke versus...
Yeah, it's like, screw you, Sasuke, is the official one, and then the fan one is, fuck you, Sasuke!
I don't know any of these things.
Oh,
right,
Tyler, after the
during
podcast,
the break,
I'm going to send you links to those two.
Jesus.
Tyler,
I don't like this guy. He's annoying.
No, I love this guy. He's not annoying.
Tyler,
I feel the opposite. What?
Tyler, if you don't enjoy them, that's totally fair, but you really should at least watch these two. They are so on point and fucking hilarious.
Like, what was it? I even seen this loser in the fucking anime detective squad garbage or some shit.
Oh,
like
I don't
that.
even, Tyler, none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. I couldn't care less about any of that. These skits are. Well, let's keep going. We're almost done.
Let's keep
Tyler,
going.
break.
You take point on the next one.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
shit!
Freeman, did you watch the
Soulja-
video?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Okay, good.
Okay,
Just
dude.
listeners,
I know
you're about
Tyler
to watch
did.
this video.
Yo, I just want to ask. I want to know how many people remember Soulja Boy.
Everyone knows the line "Soulja Boy." Tell 'em."
Everybody
That's it.
does know Soulja Boy. Tell me. Everybody knows his dumbass dance. But you know what? Everybody
I
doesn't
don't
know
the
about.
dance.
You don't know the dance?
I mean,
Crank
I
that
might-
Soulja, watch
Crank
me,
that Soulja,
you.
will
Crank that
you.
Soulja, watch you.
I mean, I know the
you.
line, but I don't know the fucking.
You don't know the hit? All right, Tim, I'm gonna ask you to watch the music video.
Okay,
But,
fine.
like,
No. Let's
jump
keep
like
going.
30 seconds,
Purely
you don't
for
have to really
context.
suffer
Let's just
through
keep
it.
Fine.
going.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I'll watch this dumbass video if you can suffer through the agony that is the Crank That Soulja Boy.
Fine, I will. But let's
Anyway,
keep
Anyway.
going.
why don't you tell the listeners why we're
Well,
talking
yeah,
about
that's
this,
what I'm
this
saying.
awful
We're talking
rapper?
about Soulja Boy with the one hit wonder because, like, you know, I'm not good at rapping. So you know what I should do? I should move on to tech entrepreneurship with my brand new console. So was it the Soulja Boy? It wasn't even the Soulja
No, it
Boy.
wasn't the
first.
Soulja Boy. That was the
Game
problem.
something.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Actually, I want to look at the site. I'm gonna pull up the site.
For the record, JonTron came with a video, and that's why we're talking about this.
JonTron
No,
today came out
I'm
with a
talking
video.
about it because I've always wanted to talk about it. Like,
I feel like it did come up a few days ago, and like while we were home, didn't we talk about it for a second, Tyler?
yeah, because I'm like, look how ridiculous this thing is,
Yeah, but then JonTron put out a video about it today.
and that's what made you guys care.
It was also a very funny video.
That's not the point. No. The act of this is
This
more
go
like
even further beyond.
it goes further beyond. So basically,
Even further.
what Soulja Boy is doing, right? He's basically putting his name on these low rent Raspberry Pis that have a ton of ripped ROMs on them. And there's actually a video out there. I should find it for you guys because JonTron doesn't boot the thing up. There's a guy who actually goes and boots these things up, and it looks terrible.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's so funny. Like a lot of these ROMs are either broken or mislabeled. I know one time in particular, it said it had was it a Street Fighter 4 on it? You boot it up, it's really Street Fighter 2. Oh yeah, it just goes on, and the original console looks like an Xbox One, but the dude like breaks it open, literally breaks it open for shits and gigs. And like you look at it, it's like 90% like vacant space. It's just a box with this computer inside of it with the micro SD card.
Oh my god.
And all these are just ripped ROMs. Like he doesn't have any, like in JonTron's video, like they mentioned like, oh, like Nintendo's probably already gonna sue him because you know he didn't get any permission from any of these developers.
Yeah. Hell no.
And he's out here boasting 800 games. You can get 800 games on this console. And it doesn't stop there either, because he not only did he continue to post those, but on his website he also sells smartwatches and like something else.
But like, here's the thing: he's very clearly just buying bulk of these from China and then just reselling them for double the price because he slapped his name on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
JonTron
yeah.
points out in his video the same thing that Soulja Boy is selling is available on Amazon for $60, and Soulja Boy is selling them for over $100.
Yeah, it's
It's
fucking
magical. Like, only in this timeline could a rapper do something like this.
you know what? I would expect this shit from Kanye West. Well, I know this because
No,
he's
dude, he's so
done
beyond
some-
technology.
No, well, yeah,
He sells cut up T-shirts. As his
he
clothing
sells
line.
cut up exactly. He sells cut up T-shirts instead.
Well,
Well, actually, no, but that failed.
Of course it.
Like, honestly,
Look, we've
rappers-
established that memes
rappers who
don't
out
turn
there-
into dreams. Memes don't
right,
turn into real.
but I don't
dreams.
know how Soulja Boy has kept relevance. Like
He
the one-
hasn't.
He
No,
has.
his one. Well, that's what I'm saying. His one-hit wonder
Well,
isn't even that good.
hold on. He
It's
had
not.
other songs. He had a legitimately good song. Was it "Kiss Me Through the Phone"? That was Soulja
See,
Boy.
you don't even remember. You don't
I
even
do
know.
remember that song. I'm just making sure that was. Yeah, it's "Kiss Me Through the Phone" featuring Someone else who never made it out of this song.
Oh my
God.
god. We're already giving this too much attention. Like, this is so stupid. It's so bullshit of him.
Because it's fucking it. This literally is fucking magical.
Look, if you want to get a much better view of what's happening and be even more entertained by it, just go watch JonTron's new video about it. It's absolutely hysterical to see.
I
him
don't think
go
it's
through
that
this.
hysterical. There, I said it.
I mean, it's not as funny as Flex Tape 2's good part, but I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty funny
Flex
part.
Tape 2's good part.
Basically, the part when John freaks out is the only part that was really funny for me. But
what brought me down was the fact that he didn't like show anything on the fucking. He could have at least scrolled through it. For like half a
Tyler,
second.
I mean, with how YouTube's been lately,
Through the interface, he doesn't have to click on a game.
Demonetized.
Tyler,
Then
with how
take the
YouTube's
hit.
been lately,
He
no.
can't,
I really
he
don't
can't afford to
care.
take that hit.
He doesn't put out enough videos to
That's
afford
why-
to
that's
take
why
that
he put
hit.
out
we
another video
had this
so fast.
discussion. We had
know
this
we did.
discussion. Fuck
That's why
that.
we're reiterating it.
No. Journalistic integrity.
It's time
I
for
need
the
it from him.
Weaves.
This is bullshit.
No, it's not time for the Weeb shit, because first we gotta talk about Super Smash Bros.
Fucking
Yeah, this
man,
is-
fuck
Yeah,
this.
Weeb shit, exactly.
Fine, I guess. No, this is international.
Fuck
Weeb shit.
Soulja Boy. Fuck this podcast.
You know what? I don't want
Podcast
to fuck
canceled.
it's Super Smash Bros.
Fucking
So, so Smash came out the Friday. It was right after our
After,
last
yeah.
recording, right? Or no?
Yeah, because it was the day we were coming home.
Yeah. So Smash Bros came out. What can I say? But this is a very
It's
good
terrible.
game. It's really fun. It's not Melee. If you're looking for a new Melee, it's not Melee. But this game's a lot of fun. It took everything that had Smash 4 had going for it, made it better. They finally have a really good single player mode. I'm hooked on playing the Spirit Board mode, where it's just like, so if anyone who watched like the first announcement for Spirits, it was this whole idea of like making your characters stronger, and it sounded like some mobile game bullshit. But it turns out it's not. Like so imagine like in a mobile game, if they gave you a chance to like capture 10 spirits and treat them like Pokemon. You know, most mobile games be like, oh, you have to wait 48 hours, or you could buy gems off the gem shop. With this game, it looks like they took that structure, but they got rid of the whole like, we're not going to monetize it. It's just like each. So you have like 10 bounties on your board, and each board has a 5-minute cooldown. So after you fight one, there's 5 minutes before the next one comes up. So you can honestly just keep playing continuously. There's no issue. So it looked like a mobile copy, but it really doesn't play like it. The point is, it's a lot of fun to play single player. I didn't think I'd have this much fun. My problem with Smash 4 was once I unlocked the characters, I didn't play it because I had no one to actually play with. And Tyler and I talked about this briefly on a previous episode about why Tyler wasn't getting Smash, because it felt like it was 100% this is a multiplayer game. But I think the single player is probably the best we've had in Smash ever. So if you were conflicted about it,
Cool.
Tyler, you should get this game.
Everybody's
Or-
still trying to get me to get this game.
Or I can just bring my shit over on Thursday and we can just play local multiplayer.
I mean, I'm down to play. It's just.
But I'm not done to pay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I resonate with that.
Yes.
Understandable. But yeah, Smash is really good. We left it out of the Game Awards because we wanted to save it for the Smash section. But to absolutely everyone's surprise, first of all, they announced who the first Smash DLC character was.
Hold
But-
on. By the way, actual surprise. Just because half the time it sounds fake to say.
Oh, no,
look
I'm
at the
being completely
surprise.
genuine. Like, no
yeah.
one saw this one coming, which is the joke, because that song in Persona 5, you never see it coming. So the main character in Persona 5
my God.
was announced to be the first DLC character, which is ridiculous because not only has he never been on a Nintendo console outside of an upcoming 3DS spin-off game, Atlas has never had anything to do with the Smash series. Now, Atlas is, I think their parent company is Sega, and Sega's already worked
Yep.
to get both Sonic as well as Bayonetta in the game, so you have that kind of avenue in. But I'm in complete shock. I think he'll make a great character. I can't wait to see what happens. It means we get some of the dank Persona 5 music in on whatever stage they choose to do. My money's that they're going to turn the casino level into the stage. You heard it here first. Everyone's predicting this, so I'm not going to take credit for this one. But I'm very excited to see where they go, considering only about 33% of people, given the polling in this podcast, were excited about the Piranha Plant. There's a lot more excitement about
Well,
Joker
yeah.
than Persona 5.
Fucking Piranha Plant.
Useless piranha plant.
Fucking.
Oh, hold on.
You know
Actually,
what's funny?
this is
My
important
buddy-
about the Piranha Plant. Real quick, sorry.
Oh,
So
no.
if no, this is a PSA. This is a PSA for any of our listeners who got Smash and think they're going to get Piranha Plant for free. if you got the downloadable copy, it says, "Oh, you're already registered. You don't need to do anything." Bullshit. Nintendo emailed you a code you need to enter into the eShop. If you don't enter that code, you don't get the character. And Nintendo's not making a big deal about this, so go do that. Otherwise, you don't get them.
Good info there, bud.
Anyway, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Wait, shit.
Fuck Piranha Plant. That's what he wanted to say.
Oh yeah, no, my friend. He's like, man, I'm not gonna get this game. Shadow the Hedgehog ain't in it. And then Piranha Plant came. He's like, yo, that's pretty fucking dope. I'm like, wait. He was serious about this, and I'm just like, why do I have friends?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked when they didn't put Shadow in after announcing the whole concept of like Echo Fighters. But I guess it was like a licensing thing where they only wanted to license out Sonic as a character, even though Shadow's an assist trophy. So from like the rigging of the character, he has the same movement that a normal character would have. You just can't play as him. So it seems weird that they didn't. It must have just been like an issue with Sega.
Which there's always issues with.
There's always issues with Sega.
All right, Smash is good. I just realized we're already at fucking 9:20, and we
yeah,
haven't
that's
even
why
hit
I
the
was trying to
topic
rush
yet.
through the Game Awards. All right, so let's go.
That
real
was like,
fast.
yeah, fine.
All right, the last one is a bunch of really short points.
Weeeb.
We're just gonna ease gently into the weeb shit. All right, so for anyone who's keeping up with Sword Art Online Alicization, you'll know that Crunchyroll put a content warning in front of the last episode, and especially considering we're in the middle of the season of Goblin Slayer, this meant something was up. So I watched it, and oh boy, was this episode eerily similar to Goblin Slayer. This was one of the strangest episodes of a show I've ever watched. This was hard. Like I said before, it was hard to watch. It was a really rough scene they did. There was some sexual assault thrown in there. People had their arms chopped off.
All right,
there was aggressive censorship of blood.
All right, okay.
I was like, now I'm getting interested.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, this season has been insane. But just a warning to anyone who wants to watch Sword Art. There's a pretty intense scene in this episode, but it's very good. Well done. Congrats, Sword Art. You have my seal of approval for this season. Second thing I want to talk about today was Funimation came out and explained their side of the Funimation Crunchyroll divorce. So previously, all news about it had been coming through Crunchyroll, just about breaking off Funimation, removing content. And then Funimation came forth and said, we wanted to maintain the relationship with Crunchyroll, but Crunchyroll had some stipulations in their agreement, and one of them had to do with streaming outside the United States. So part of their agreement with Crunchyroll was that for all new shows they got, Crunchyroll got the subtitle version for streaming, and Funimation had the home release and dub rights in the US. Now, Crunchyroll doesn't license every show outside the US. They do some in some countries. And Funimation basically wanted to do, hey, whatever regions you aren't licensing, we want to license there. And Crunchyroll's like, well, no, we don't really want you to be in the streaming game if we're in the streaming game. So it became this whole competition thing, even though Funimation essentially wanted to compete in other regions from Crunchyroll. So because of that, their parent company said, no, let's just back out and do streaming in every country. So that's partially why it happened. So it seems like they couldn't come to agreement on that. It's not at this point, it's not Sony just being like, no, Funimation, get out. But it seems like having Funimation partner with Hulu, where Hulu does all of the internal to the US streaming content, and then Funimation can now start its branching out into other regions. It seems like that was the direction Sony wanted them to go with it. So that's your full explanation of what actually happened in that divorce. But moving on, last two don't impact us too much because they're both Japanese movie announcements. The Hero Academia movie did so well, they're doing a 4D re-release in Japan, despite the fact that there is no 3D. You're just going to be in a theater, but it's like, how do I put this? Like, you're in a seat that has shit rigged up to it. So, like, whenever Kaminari does his lightning shit, you get zapped. Or whenever Todoroki does shit, you can feel the heat in the theaters. Or you feel the cold whenever there's ice on screen. Like, it's one of those, like, extra effects shit like they have in Disney World. So they're doing that for the Hero Academia movie.
Huh.
Which seems weird. This is never coming to the US. It's not happening. We don't have these.
Please don't.
Like
just look. All I'm waiting for is the fucking Blu-ray so I can buy it already and rewatch the fucking
movie. It's out for March.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So if anyone wants to see that really, really good movie, March is your time to buy it.
Like, actually, it was good.
This episode has not been sponsored by Funimation, the rights holders for Hero Academia in the United States.
Oh
anyway,
my God.
But speaking of movies that are released in the US whose rights are also held by Funimation in the United States, the Broly movie released in Japan this week.
This I did not know at all.
Apparently, people are liking it. And based on the trailers that we've all seen, It looks really good. The Dragon Ball Super team had nothing to work on all year, considering they finished Dragon Ball Super. I don't know if it was end of last year, or early this year. So they like the effort they put into it is like really easy to see. I'm looking forward to this. I got to see if they still have tickets for sale in the area. I think it's middle of January. It's in U.S. theaters. So I got to see if they still have tickets. But that was it for the Weeeb shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do we need a break, or do we just want to go into the...
Let's do a break real quick. I need to get some water.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Let's get
All right,
some
so we're going to
water.
take a break, and when we come back, we are all going to talk about our highlights of 2019, jumping into the future.
Hell yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the games, some of the shows, and some of the movies that meant a lot to us this year. And it's just going to be quick summaries because I'm sure we all have. I have a notepad of paper with stuff to talk about, and I'm sure you guys have at least a few things to mention as well. And we'll probably chime in on each other's stuff. So yeah, we'll be back in a second with 2018 highlights. So see you in a sec. And we're back.
From outer space.
So yeah. Tyler didn't find any of the Pro ZD videos funny, which was disappointing. And Soulja Boy was fucking stupid.
It was just as terrible as it was back in 2008.
So,
Yeah.
ready to start being cheerful about 2018 stuff.
Jeez.
But yeah, so I don't know. The reason I suggested the topic to these guys today was mostly because, this
They
year
don't want to
feels
do
like
censorship.
Well, no, that's not why at all, motherfucker.
It's almost like we're censoring Tyler.
R// No, but I don't know. Ed just wanted to kind of end the year, since this is our last podcast of the year, kind of end it on a high note, focus on the good stuff that happened this year, because there was a lot of, as much as it feels like every day there's more news and everything that just feels like shit, I kind of wanted to just, hey, let's look at all the cool stuff, cool games, cool movies, cool anime, cool shows that came out this year that, were really exciting, and for people to look back and enjoy, or for to even introduce people, even though we've probably talked about all these things on the podcast. But where do you guys want to start? Do we want to do like games or shows or movies first?
They all suck,
wanna do
it doesn't matter.
Or do we just want to do it by person and just we each go through all of our lists?
No. Let's do categories.
Okay. How about games first?
All right, I'm going to start with a super broad one because this was interesting. I was looking at what games I played this year, and a lot of them were just like continuation of PC games. And then I realized I got a Switch at like the very beginning of the year. So literally every Switch game has been my 2018. So even though I didn't particularly like Zelda, I played a good chunk of it. Mario Kart re-release, Smash we talked about today, even Octopath Traveler I'm still playing like every other week or so. Like, and not counting Pokemon, I haven't been disappointed yet. So 2018 was the year for Nintendo Switch, and I think pretty much every game for it was at least recommendable.
Not gonna lie, I've thought about getting one.
All it takes is the one
I've
killer
been thinking
game
about
that
it.
you like absolutely need, and the rest just comes later.
There really isn't one though, but it just seems like they're kind of killing it. Like Breath of the Wild, I would probably want to try, and like fucking Odyssey, maybe I'd try and finally like a Mario game, and Smash would be fun to just have, and
They're all pretty good.
and
They're all pretty good.
The problem is like there's not one that I would say was like my must play game of the year. Even though I love Smash, I'm not going to go out and tell you to buy a console for it. But I think that just there's been a line of quality games that came out for it this year that make it worth owning in year 2 of the console.
I really like Legend of Zelda for it, like a lot. And it wasn't your typical Legend of Zelda game.
It was very different.
I was wondering why I might like it.
It's very different, but from a person who has played a lot of the mainstream, like mainline Zelda games, I would say it's pretty good. I kind of wish it had the how do I put it? Like they had to take a completely different direction in terms of what's it called, the design philosophy for the game to make it free roam. So I don't know if you guys have you guys played any Zelda games?
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Ocarina and most of Twilight Princess.
So
same except Majora, but even then it probably was like half when I was a kid. So
that's fine. You guys know that like every dungeon has a theme to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Like everything's got like the flow is typically, oh, I'm in this dungeon, I go through a few places, I get a key, I do all this stuff, and like I get the item, and then the item allows me to beat it, blah 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 blah. Well, since you know you can't really do something like that in a free roam game because you could literally start anywhere.
Yeah, they had to change it up a bit.
Yeah, to the point where the dungeons are very generic. But
That stinks a little.
yeah, like they're all the same. You go there, you figure out like the puzzle, and then it's done. But what makes the game special is all of the in between, like the mechanics, like the combat is pretty good. The adventuring, I think the adventuring and discovery bits of the game, I think, are the best part. Is what makes me really enjoy the game. And Mario Odyssey, like they even changed somewhat of the direction on that. They just made it a different kind of game. They're like, oh well, what if we try it like this instead of this?
Yeah,
And I know
Odyssey
some people liked it and some
it's
didn't.
weird. As someone who loved the Galaxy games, I don't like the game's polished. I just don't like the platforming aspect with how much like the hat is involved. I didn't
Mhm.
personally like it, but I don't think it's a bad game because of it.
Yeah,
I think newer Mario fans are going to appreciate it a lot. People who are kind of like my first 3D Mario game, I didn't play 64 when it came out. I played Sunshine on release.
oh
So
shit.
so like how do I put this? Even like when I played Sunshine, you can cover all your mistakes with just using the hover on Flood. So you don't have to like be very good at jumping. When Galaxy came out, your jumping mattered again. And then when you get to Odyssey, there's all these tricks you can do to essentially just throw your hat and keep jumping forever, and it just feels bullshit. But if you don't have that perspective, you just play this game, it feels natural.
Mm, I feel
Hmm.
you. As far as other Switch games go, I haven't gotten a chance to play most others. Like I wanted to get into Splatoon 2. I haven't gotten a chance. Octopath Traveler's been fun. I still
Yeah.
play that off and on. And I'm looking forward to more games. And I've played Smash. I got to taste Smash a little bit, and
Tuh.
I think it's pretty cool.
It
Like I think
tasted
it's
like
cool.
Smash, right?
It does taste like Smash, except like I don't know if
There's
like it
something
feels
about it
like
that's different.
there's something about it that's different, and like I got to get used to it.
Yeah.
So those are your games.
I had one more game I wanted to talk about, and this was both a high and a low for the series. But Life is Strange had an odd
I
2018.
knew it.
Yeah, because the spin-off game made by some other developer who just wasn't as passionate as Don't Nod, wasn't doing it. Before the Storm was not a very good game. That said, I'm super excited for Life is Strange 2 because it sounds like episode 2 is coming out like a month from now. So I'm very excited to lock myself in my room for like 6 hours and beat that episode. And then spend months just questioning what's going to happen next. Where are they going from here? But Tim, what about
Where
you?
are they?
What were your 2018 games?
Sorry, I the only reason I wasn't saying much is because I don't have much to say because I don't have a Switch, like I said. I only
You
had a
got other
few
games.
all of them are tied to YouTube because there's really a minuscule number of games and no new ones of import that I didn't play for YouTube. So I just went back through YouTube and looked through what I had throughout the year that I really liked a lot. This was the year I finished playing Witcher 3.
Oh yeah.
And fucking killer game that is. There's only one game from this year that really has just blown me away, and that's Yakuza 0. Like I've been complaining recently about how one of the second character's way to unlock his final style, his whole money making scheme is just fucking annoying. That's such a minor thing in a game where Friedman, I played the soundtrack for you a little bit once way back
Hype.
a while ago. The soundtrack to this game is probably the only game soundtrack I've ever actually cared about, and that includes my entire history of gaming. This is the only one I've ever listened to more than like a half hour. Like I listened to the Witcher 3 soundtrack for an hour at work a few months ago. This soundtrack is so much fun to me. The gameplay is fun. I fucking love Yakuza 0. It's great. The other two that were not games from this year, but were ones that I replayed this year, or played for the first time in a special circumstance, where Empire Earth, still one of my favorite games ever, finally got to Let's Play it this year, and it meant a lot to me. And SWAT. SWAT with you guys has been one of the absolute gaming highlights of the year for me. I almost forgot about it. With how much insane fun we've been having. It's I guess I'll just announce that we finally finished SWAT.
Yeah.
Us and Luigi recorded our final session on Sunday, and it's going to come out as over the day before Christmas Eve, and Christmas as a special Christmas for you guys.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Christmas.
Filthy animal. But yeah, so SWAT was a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I honestly can't wait for us all to sit down and play some Siege, and then maybe even try something like what was it? Ghost Recon Wildlands. That game has kind of interesting open world co-op going on and stuff. So that's down the road. That's in 2019. But yeah, I mean, maybe even over this coming weekend when everybody's off for the holidays, maybe we'll find some time to do some Rainbow Six for the first time.
I'm always down. I'm always down for Rainbow Six.
I mean, that game's fun as shit. I would actually love to get back to that game. But anyway, yeah, those are the only games that really... I played a bunch of stuff this year, and a lot of it was good, but these are the ones that really stuck out to me, and that's what I wanted to focus on. So every one of these games I would highly recommend. SWAT with Friends, Witcher 3, Empire Earth, and Yakuza 0 are all fantastic. So
yeah.
Tyler, do you have any more games? Because you kind of latched on to Friedman.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck? You guys didn't even talk about Red Dead or God of War, please.
It's
Well,
a shame that neither of us played it.
So guess what, Tyler? I installed Red Dead yesterday so that Gal and I can finally sit down and do, like you and Leslie, some gaming on the couch together.
Yes. By the way, viewers, I got Tim Red Dead Redemption 2 for Christmas.
Yeah, and I'm finally going to play it.
Yes.
Hold on,
I love that game. I love that game.
I forgot to say this during the news, just because we got on the topic of these really dank single-player games. Sony said they want to invest a majority of their game development money into like really rich single player like offline single player content. Like they realize that there's a huge interest in games like that, just seeing how big like Red Dead Redemption and Spider-Man were this year.
So you are absolutely correct, Freeman, but here's a slightly more cynical way to look at it. With how cross-platform has been going, with like how Fortnite cross-platform was this whole big thing, and every multiplayer game needs to be cross-platform these days. Sony doesn't need to invest their own money in games like that because they're just going to develop for everything anyway.
Yeah, this is their way of being a differentiator.
We'll put all of our money into things that make you go to PlayStation for the single player.
Otherwise, we end up with another crap. What was that shitty PS3 shooter series that tried to compete with Call of Duty?
Killzone?
No, worse.
Oh, Resistance?
Yes. There you go.
Hey, whoa. Whoa. Hey. Watch your mouth there.
Did you really like the multiplayer online for that game?
Yeah, dude. 60 players online with the fucking bullseye and the fucking noob tube on the carbine. Shit was busted. I loved it.
Noob tube. You talk about Call of Duty? No, I know you're not. But that's Call of Duty shit right there.
This was
fucking M4 with...
This was pretty.
All right, Tyler, what other games were your game of the year? We're talking about good stuff, not Resistance.
Yo, fuck you. Resistance was great.
Fine, good in 2018.
Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War, I still can't tell you which one's my favorite because I'm like, how can I like quantify this, right? I mean, I guess I could say time spent, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is like easily that, but I'm like, that's not fair. Right?
I was actually going to say, I bet if I had to guess, it would be God of War for you.
See,
just because I feel like God of War might hit a little harder because it's a much more intimate story. But maybe that's just me projecting. I feel like it would for me. Not that I don't think Red Dead's not going to be great.
Yeah,
but
no, like
I can't.
They both have two very different stories, but they both convey. Actually, it's interesting. The same kind of theme. Both are tales of people who have done wrong. And they seek redemption within the next generation.
Like a Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption. But I don't know. I love these stories because like you guys have talked to me about, you know, like my favorite thing is like in stories is the human element, and the way both of these games express it is just phenomenal. I thought, and I went into God of War thinking it was gonna suck. I was like, you know,
Wait,
they're gonna
really?
reboot this game. Oh yeah, I'm like, they're gonna reboot this game. It's been a long ass time. Like there's no way. There's no way they're gonna bring this game back. And like something about it like made me want to pick it. I'm like, you know what? Fine, fuck it. I'm a sheep.
The glowing reviews.
I'll buy. Actually, it wasn't the reviews. I watched some gameplay footage, and I'm like, man, you know what? Fuck it.
Looks okay.
Yeah, I was like, it literally. I was like, you know what? It looks okay, right? It looks okay, and I pop it in, and I'm playing through it, and I'm like, yo, damn, this ain't too bad. All right, this ain't too bad so far. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, and then you start ugly crying out of nowhere, and you're like, oh fuck me. Shit. And then it threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. And like from the combat to the character development to the story, like it hits you. And same thing with Red Dead. The characters are like, honestly, I think the game was Donkey's review is actually pretty accurate. like to the T. Like though I like the game more consistently than he did though. Right? The one part that he said wasn't good, I completely agree with him. And some people thought the ending was kind of weak. I enjoyed the ending for what it was. Except for the epilogue. The game could have done without the epilogue, and you guys can play it to find out what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in 6 months when I finally get around to finishing that fucking thing.
But like there's just so many things, and like you could tell with God of War, they really did their research, kind of like in the older games. Like what I liked about God of War was that they took existing lore and then they spun it to a kind of believable like lore story. And Red
I mean,
Dead,
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
It's been tempting to spend the money on a PS4 for just God of War and Spider-Man.
If you were here, Tim, if you were still in New Jersey, I would loan you my PS4 just so you
No,
could
I
play.
can't, no.
Yeah, just
I'm saying.
watching Donkey's view of Spider-Man made me want to play it so badly.
Actually,
but I
in
still don't have
fact,
time right now.
if you want to, I'm saying this for the record. If you want, like, it's not God of War,
No.
I can ship you my PS3 with Last of Us, and you can.
I have
play
a
that.
PS3.
Oh, then I'm just gonna
It's
buy.
in New Jersey, but I haven't. Actually, is it New Jersey? I honestly don't even know
know.
where it is. All I know is I haven't touched it in literal years.
Anyway, I could jerk off about these games all day, literally. So, but I'm just gonna go like quickly to the other games that I played. I played A Way Out.
Yes, please.
That was fun. Spiral Reignited was good. Despite some glaring performance issues, I still enjoyed it.
What, Spyro?
Yeah, Spyro. I
Really?
beat the trilogy the other day. I finished Year of the Dragon. But you'd think a game, well, they redid the game in Unreal. So they basically like redid the game from the ground up essentially. But man, like so much stuttering. Like it was beautiful, like gorgeous, but like the load times were garbage, and like you could
Yikes.
tell when the game was chugging.
That's no fun.
That sucks.
Yeah. I also tried for a brief amount of time to play some games I didn't get a chance to beat or I started before. I never finished, so I beat Doom.
Wait, you beat Doom?
Yeah, I thought I said
We never
this.
talked about it. No. I don't remember you ever saying it. I remember you saying you were
Oh.
going to play it.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you did because you were going to switch to Witcher, right?
Yeah, well now so that's another thing too. I did that, and then I beat Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice.
Was that any good?
I've
talked about flip-flopping on buying it on Steam when it's on sale.
nah, I wouldn't
Okay.
say nah. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's good, but like I don't know. I think they were too focused on the whole idea behind the game, like trying to emulate Psychosis, that they almost failed in making the game good. Like you could tell that the gameplay took a backseat.
Which is
That
understandable in some cases, but I'm a big gameplay guy, so.
Right, same as me. And you know what? And I realized like, oh, they could have totally put some extra time into making the game good
Mhm.
while still having the same features, but whatever. But now, so I beat that, and now Leslie and I have officially started Witcher 3.
Fuck yes.
Officially. I mean, I
Hell
was a
yeah.
decent way into the game actually,
Yeah, but you're restarting it.
but now I'm restarting it because she's like, "Oh, I want to watch." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So that's my 2018 in games. It's pretty much just my massive hard on for Red Dead and God of War.
All right, we're gonna try to pick it up a little, only because I know Freeman's hitting his
His, his,
quiet hours in the
Yeah, I hit my
library.
limit.
in the
But this-
library.
So
Just to go even further
Shows-
beyond.
shows or movie? Actually, Freeman, if you really have to go, do you think you want to just do your stuff?
No,
And just...
it'll be
okay.
fine. Let's just go fast.
Okay. Movies or shows, Tyler?
Let's do movies. We all got some movies we could talk about.
All right, I'll do movies first, just to mix up the order, but just really quick because everyone knows what most of these are. Avengers, obviously,
Yes.
and I'm sure we probably share a bunch of these among all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Avengers. Who thought Infinity War was going to be as good as it was? Like legitimately, just great.
I did.
Nah, I thought it was me Age of Ultron 2.
I was worried about it being Age of Ultron, honestly.
I did not. I had high hopes, and I'm like, if it does not meet this bar, I think it's going to be a bad movie. And it actually met my expectations.
Um, I actually don't have Ant-Man on this list because that wasn't amazing.
I
but
watched
Black
that
Panther
movie
was
today,
very fun.
and it was
Oh.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel movies are always like it's a rare one that's bad, but if you go on the Marvel scale, of Ant-Man and the Wasp was pretty meh.
Yeah.
It's like a graded scale. Black Panther though was probably a bit at this point. It's overhyped, but it was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ralph Breaks the Internet, not quite as magical as the first one, but I really enjoyed it. I actually didn't get to talk about it because
No, you haven't spoken about it.
because we saw it while we were home. I didn't like this Ralph as much as I liked the first one. Maybe it's just because the spark of the first one coming out of nowhere isn't there, which does happen, but it still was really good. It tugged at my heartstrings a little. I teared up a bit at the end. But overall, I enjoyed it. It didn't feel quite as exciting as the first one did, but like I said, it was like one. If the first one's a 9, this is a solid 8, 8.5. This one is an accident. While we were home one night, the night I spent with my family, my dad randomly put Mission Impossible Fallout on the TV, and that actually came out this year.
Yeah.
I saw Ghost Protocol. I have never seen Rogue Nation. If Fallout is anything to go by, man, Mission Impossible since Ghost Protocol has been fucking nuts. This movie was really good.
Oh yeah.
Fallout was really, really good. And now I kind of want to go back and watch Rogue Nation because if I've heard that all 3 of these new ones have been similar quality. I liked Ghost Protocol a lot, and I liked this a lot, so I want to go see fucking Rogue Nation because if that's good too, hell yeah. This was a lot of fun. It was a really fun movie. Deadpool 2 also came out this year. Again, not quite as magical as the first, but still good.
Sequel problems.
This is a really minor one, and I actually technically haven't finished this, but the documentary about, I know it sounds silly, the Mr. Rogers documentary, Would You Be My Neighbor? I watched about 2/3 of this on the way back from the Dominican on the plane. This was actually incredibly well done. It's like the only documentary I've been interested in a while, and I really need to sit down and finish it.
I heard good
I
things about it.
really
I haven't seen
enjoyed it. Incredibles 2 also came out, and honestly, while again slightly less magical than the first, was again still really good. Last 2, Sicario 2 came out.
Yeah.
Again, 5% not as good, but still good time. I liked it. I think you didn't like it that much, Tyler, right?
No, I liked it.
But not
I don't
quite
think it
much
was as good as
first.
the first one, in my opinion. But
Like
I
all
liked
these
it.
sequels that were good, but
Not
didn't
good
match up.
enough.
Like
and then
it was definitely a sequel thing where it's like, okay, this was all clearly like the biggest setup for the third movie.
Sure. That's the problem with actually not all of these. Ralph and Deadpool. Some of the other ones don't really. But anyway, last one, Game Night, was actually a very funny comedy that constantly subverted what was actually going on. It's basically these people get together for a kind of an escape the room scenario, but it's inside of a house with actors and stuff. But then robbers break in and actually turn it into a real thing, and they think it's a game the whole time.
Oh
It was pretty funny. It was a good time. I forget what the guy's name in it was, but it was really fun.
I think this is the plot of an episode of Bob's Burgers.
But yeah, that was all my movies. I know there was a fair number of them, but honestly, I went out of my way to see so few movies in theaters that I didn't think would be good anyway. That anything that came out this year, and the other one we'll talk about in anime. I guess just talk about it now. The My Hero movie was also really, really good. Since that's not an anime category, it's shows category. So
I had it under movies, just because that was the theatrical experience for me.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Tyler, go ahead.
My movies were short this year. Actually, a lot of the stuff that you mentioned were on it, like Avengers, obviously. I liked Ralph. I liked Black Panther, Sicario 2. Oh yeah, Incredibles 2. A lot of twos. I liked Venom. Not a whole lot, but I liked it. It was better than what I expected.
Should I see it?
I don't know. I don't think you should see it. I don't think it'd be up your alley.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking, and I'm like, maybe if you really got nothing else to watch. I wouldn't highly recommend it to anyone. It's one of those oh, watch it if you want. It's like a solid 6 or 7 to me. I liked it, but I wouldn't hardcore oh, you got to go see this movie. What else did I see? Oh yeah, Hereditary was pretty cool, though I thought it was overhyped as fuck. A Quiet Place was pretty good. I like that.
Pretty good. That was the greatest horror movie ever.
I wouldn't say that. But yeah, no,
Tyler, there's black people.
There's black people. Fuck it. Solo. I forgot. Solo was actually kind of dope.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, I didn't even mention Solo because I was less enthused than you.
That's fine. Honestly.
But that's fire. It's our highlights each. So
the most important movie I think this year for me was Avengers. I honestly even Leslie and I were struggling because we're like, what fucking movies are coming out? We check every week, nothing. Fucking goose egg, and it's just well, fuck. All right. Well, it doesn't matter because 2019 is going to be off the fucking chain. John Wick 3 coming out. No one in this party gives a shit.
Hold on. I'm upset because
No.
John Wick 3 is happening because Bill and Ted 3 isn't happening.
Yeah. And that's
that
okay.
Makes me sad.
No.
It doesn't make me angry. It makes me sad.
I'm selfish and I want this movie more.
I'm happy for you, but I'm sad for me.
I'm not sad for you because I want this. I'm being a selfish prick and I know it. But yeah, that's about it. There's some other shit too that's coming out this year, but I can't think of it. But yeah, like I said, this was short this year. Nothing mind blowing, honestly, though, from the movie department.
Outside of Avengers.
That's it. And Black Panther gave me a really good bad guy, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Friedman.
So the only movie I had on my list you guys didn't already bring up was Ready Player One. That was the only one.
Oh, you like that?
I acknowledge the movie for what it was and I enjoy it. I'm not saying it was a good movie, but I definitely liked watching it and I do want to watch it again. So that's saying that about it. I thought it was a pretty good movie for nerds.
There were a lot of cameos, weren't there?
There were a ton. If you know anyone who likes video games, just have them watch this movie. Regardless of whether the movie's good or not, the references are enough to keep you entertained.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like video games, and I don't know if I'm gonna watch this movie.
If you need something to watch in the background, watch it.
That's what YouTube is for, dude.
And
that's what YouTube's for, my dude.
The cheap price of $2.99 per movie, This
All right, we're done with
episode has been
movies.
sponsored by YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And don't forget to
All right,
New
Tyler,
episodes,
start
clickety-clack
us
the
with
fucking-
shows,
every so
Tyler.
often.
Oh my god.
Oh, shows. Yo, I discovered BoJack Horseman this year. I know it's not
Oh.
new, but I discovered that. And Better Call Saul. Those are like my favorite shows this year. But as far as the show that started this year, was it The Haunting of Hill House? I thought that shit was
Oh, I
fucking
forgot to
top-notch.
add that shit.
That's right, you guys all
Yeah.
watched that.
Yeah, I thought it was
so
amazing.
good. Except for that ending, fucking great.
Yeah, literally everything was a straight like banging episode except for the last like 5 minutes of the whole show. And it's fun. It's weird. It's almost to the point of jarring how weird it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. And you know what? I even said I tell people, I'm like, my standard for horror is fucking high, but this show met it. And this is me comparing it to like Hereditary and A Quiet Place that I saw this year. And like A Quiet Place barely made it. It just got there. But like everything in Haunting of Hill House, I was like, yes, this is great. Oh, and Bodyguard. So 2 Netflix shows. Bodyguard, I don't know if you guys have heard it. I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about it yet.
Heard of it, didn't watch it.
Yeah, so it's got I forgot the actor's name, but the dude who plays Robb Stark in Game of Thrones. The show is about this police officer in England, and he has to protect the someone in Parliament. What the fuck is her position? Basically, she's like the secretary, the equivalent of Secretary of State.
Okay.
In America.
Oh yeah. I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically that. It just revolves around him like try to prevent like terrorist attacks and shit like that. And viewers, if you've ever watched the show Homeland, it's basically British Homeland, and it's very good.
British Homeland.
I should tell my
is.
dad because I think actually he liked Homelands a lot.
Oh yeah, if he liked Homeland, like I would say he should give this show a shot. It's essentially the same concept.
But
But that might spoil some things if you have seen Homeland.
I haven't.
It's pretty good. That is also pretty good. But like I kind of like that kind of like that visceral, real like the government is not perfect type shit. Like I'm not into like the conspiracy stuff, right? Though I was like into Mr. Robot for a hot second, but
Oh yeah. Still need to watch season 3.
Still haven't watched any of it.
that shit got
It
boring.
got real weird real fast.
Yeah. Oh shit. I was watching Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the fucking one dude in Mr. Robot
What's
was
the main
also in
character?
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah.
Huh.
And I didn't realize it
It's
until
so weird
just
seeing
now.
in places. Like I'm hesitant to watch Bohemian Rhapsody just because I'm gonna see.
Oh, you're
playing
gonna
Freddie Mercury
see
being like,
fucking
like,
yeah.
oh, what's Mr. Robot doing with the mustache on?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I haven't dipped my toes into like a lot of shows this year.
What about anime?
Oh, anime.
Are we transitioning already into anime?
Oh,
as
we're
a-
transitioning.
Well, no, I thought that was part of shows. If
Oh
it's
no,
not,
I had
then
it as a
forget
subtopic because anime is something
I was
else.
saying, I feel like
Something
well,
else.
It.
I mean,
You're
I have
correct.
no non-animated shows now that Tyler mentioned Hill House. So
I mean, I rewatched that. If we're going there, I rewatched Outlaw Star, and I am starting Space Dandy. I got
yeah.
into Goblin Slayer. I didn't really watch any. Oh, well, other than the main
Megalobox.
line. Oh yeah, Megalobox.
Yeah, we
I
both
watched
watched that.
Megalobox. That was fun.
If it wasn't for
don't
that ending, it would have been great.
The ending got me and Friedman so pissed.
Yeah, it was.
Did we talk about it on? We talked
It
about it on
it was
this.
rage
right?
inducing. I think we did.
did you actually?
I
All
can't.
right, let's give a quick recap. Then.
Yeah.
So-
Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. So
Yeah.
Megalobox is only 12 episodes. For anyone who didn't watch, it's about like boxing the future. People use like robot arms to make it cooler. And they're hyping up this last this last fight, and I think like the 2 episodes leading us were all really good, and the actual fight happens, and it was a pretty well executed fight. But then they like cut right before like the last blow happens, and they jump ahead to like a year in the future, and you're sitting here like, what the fuck happened? And everyone's like talking about it in the past tense, and no one's giving like any indication that like, you know, what happened at the fight. Did it end up really mattering? Like, what was the end result of all of this? And then finally in the last second they reveal that was the main character had actually won.
Yeah, it was
And
like
they're
a flash of like the scorecard at the end.
Yeah, but like they did it so
weird.
nonchalantly that it killed like the impact of building up to the result. Like it almost made you seem like it seems like the result didn't even matter because it didn't. We didn't even need to tell you about it till the very end.
Right.
Wow.
And it just made the whole last scene just like not enjoyable. Cause sitting there like, I don't care what anyone's saying. Like, who the fuck won?
Exactly.
It was really annoying.
We're hit like Freeman
Damn.
and I are sitting there like, yo, for real though, who fucking won? And then it went to the
But-
credits and we're like, yo, but for real though, who fucking won? And like it wasn't until like
It
after
was
the
like an
credits,
after
it was,
credits.
like,
Yeah.
it showed who won, like, you know, or whatever. I was like, and we were both like, yo, fuck this. That was such
It
bullshit.
was so annoying.
Like, I get what they're trying to go for, but it was very poorly executed.
The rest of the show was dope though.
Yeah. Even though nah, that's a spoiler, fuck it.
Yeah, this is airing
The
on
whole
TNT,
premise
we
of the
can't ruin it.
show, literally the whole premise of the show, and then it not turning out to be that part of the show anyway. You know what I'm talking about with Joe?
Are you talking about the Joe dying thing or
No, not that part.
oh.
Like the blatantly obvious, like, oh hey, they use robot arms to box.
You're losing me
What?
here. Oh,
But
just
a
how they
certain-
drop. Oh, you're talking about how they.
But a
just
certain character doesn't use
Oh,
said
you can
robot
spoil
arms.
it. Yeah, so the whole point is everyone's using robot arms
Oh,
to box,
fine.
and the main character's like, "Fuck it, I'm not going to use them." So, like, the entire thing that made this show unique from other boxing shows immediately just became not unique.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, is Tim dead?
No, I'm here. I just.
Okay.
What am I supposed to say? I never
Stop-
watched the
I
show.
don't know. You're
Some
like,
kinda
oh,
like-
that's
could've said,
weird,
like, rip
intriguing.
F.
It's some bullshit. Nah, it's
Oh
fine.
my God.
Nah,
Any of the
I don't-
usual-
I've been
internet
talking
response.
too much. I was letting you guys talk.
that's fine. But
I need to shut the fuck up.
so those are so wait. Oh yeah, so those are my shows. Yeah, those are my shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize we went on a tangent on my shows.
That's just a little. It's okay.
Freeman, what is your anime? Because we know that's all the shows you've been watching.
So I was gonna say my live action shows segment was defined more by shows that I didn't watch and shows I did. This was the year that I quit
Freeman,
Walking
this
Dead.
is highlights for us.
Oh no, and I'm happy I quit Walking Dead, but I'm upset that I didn't get a chance to watch Game of Thrones this year because none of us got the chance to watch Game of Thrones this year. So because of that, all of my shows are anime this year, and oh boy, were there a lot. I literally went through my MS and just scribbled down everything from 2018, and I'm not lying. Like people, you say 2006 was the best year for anime. I think 2018 was. We have, and some of these are good, some of these are bad, but these are all notable. Quarter one, we had Darling in the Franxx, which everyone knows was a roller coaster of bullshit. Violet Evergarden, Laid Back Camp, which I know Tim has now seen some of it. Devilman Crybaby, which was controversial within our own podcast as well as the anime community. And then
Oh my
Pop
God, I
Team,
forgot about that
Pop
too.
Team
Oh,
Epic,
yeah.
the literal shitpost of an anime. Quarter two rolled in hot with Hero Academia, the start of all the Fooly Cooly trash that happened this year. Full Metal Panic re-release, new season. Steins Gate Zero, Food Wars season 3.5. Wodakoi Loves Hard for Otaku. You guys didn't watch that, but Tim, you and Val are eventually going to. Persona 5 anime started.
Damn.
Sort of Online Alternative came in quarter two. It was actually really good. And then Megalobox, which we just spoke about. Quarter three, there were a lot less shows, but things, honestly, half the shit from quarter two was like double length, 26 episodes. So a lot of it ran over. We got Attack on Titan season 3. We got Grand Blue, which is honestly one of my favorite comedy anime ever to come out now. We got Cells at Work, which was both informative as well as entertaining and might have had enough of an impact that we may just cosplay it next year.
Gotta add that to my fucking. Oh no, that was on my list. Thank God.
What, Cells at Work?
Glad I didn't forget Cells.
And then rolling into quarter four, this season's been pretty strong. We have Goblin Slayer, Rascal's Dream, Bunny Girl Senpai, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and then to literally everyone's surprise, including myself, the new Sword Art Online is actually up there with like one of the best shows of 2018 so far. So the fact that I've been going for like 2 minutes continuously just naming these fucking shows speaks volumes about how good 2018 was for anime.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are you just doing the list
That's
and dropping
it.
the mic?
Just dropping the mic. Like 2018 was great.
All right, so I'm gonna re-mention a bunch of anime
Yeah, go
because
ahead,
Friedman blew through about 20 million different shows.
And except for Darling the Franks and Fooly Cooly, all of them were great.
Two shows that you forgot to mention. One of them you're in progress on, and one of them I guess everyone else just forgot. Castlevania came out this year.
Oh, because I only put legitimate anime on here.
Damn.
Castlevania Season 2 was fantastic. I still want to go back and rewatch the whole thing. I made Val rewatch the last episode, and she cried a second time because it was still pretty raw. Voltron, I don't want to get into it
I heard
too
the last
much
season was kind of weird.
and spoil Friedman's enjoyment of the show because I enjoyed most of the show, but the show was so much better when we first watched it. I really enjoyed the first few seasons. Season 7 had issues for me, but had some really cool shit. Season 8, outside of... I actually enjoy... Okay, you know it's a problem when you kind of enjoy the filler more than the main plot.
Oh, that's bad.
Like,
That's
in
real
Season
bad.
8, there were like 3 filler episodes. One of them was a documentary that was interesting. One of them was literally, let's just go to a fair for a whole episode.
Hold
I
on.
loved that one.
Oh, hold on, this is really important. I need to ask this. This is a Netflix show, right?
Yeah.
Where they define the number of episodes in a season.
Sure.
So why the fuck are there filler episodes when you don't have to hit a quota of episodes?
No, they
Because
do.
they want to have a longer season.
There has to be, because there are filler episodes in literally all of their shows, except for like.
But if you
I don't know.
imagine if they just didn't have that episode because you don't need it because you're not fitting a
Yeah, but
broadcast
Freeman,
schedule.
in this case, I enjoyed it more. Okay, there is a few... Honestly, Season 8, me and Val actually totally disagree. Val was tearing up and really emotional at the end and really enjoyed it. I was pretty stone-faced and kind of frustrated that this is how the show's going out, when there have been some great villains, great action, and great story, and Season 8 is just kind of, let's not develop anything anymore and just pull out... It's literally like if Gurren was done wrong, but still had the power jumps and things like that happen in Gurren.
Damn.
It's actually, like, there's literally a scene that made me go, holy shit, there's a drill right there. Like, actually, one move is a drill on a giant mech. And, like, I was so hype about it, and then the rest of the time, like, wow, this feels really unsatisfying, and, like, they pulled it out of their ass. But legitimately, the first few seasons of Voltron, like, the first 6, where you have the first 2 main villains and the most of the plot, are fucking great. And it feels like 7 and 8 were just like, we want to get a kind of more of a closing than this mystery ending. So let's just throw a bunch of shit out there and see what... A little disappointing, for sure. But Val really enjoyed it, so it's not... I don't know. But those are the non-animes I had listed. I wanted to talk about Overlord. I know Freeman doesn't really like Overlord, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit.
Look, I don't hate it.
I'm not saying you hate it. I'm just saying you didn't enjoy it as much as I did.
Tickle my fancy.
Sure, that's fair. I really enjoyed it. This is just highlights for me. Slime. Val and I actually watched Slime just before I got on the podcast
I
for
haven't
this
seen the
week
new one yet.
during dinner. It was really interesting, and things are actually starting to really heat up. Fuck Gaberu. He's a piece of shit.
Oh, dude, he's the shonen
he's fucking
protagonist
awful.
that nobody asked for.
He's really bad.
God damn it.
So, fucking while we were home, Freeman and Luigi, the first night we're there hanging out with everybody, they get us through the first arc of Bunny Girl Senpai, and Val and I proceeded to catch up to the show the next day before we hung out with everybody. Bunny Girl Senpai has been shockingly good for such a stupid title.
Yeah, the title had everything going against it. It was...
I actually think I like it more than Slime right now. That might just be because Slime's a little slow right now. But Bunny Girl is consistently impressing me.
Yeah, they've managed to condense a lot of stuff into Bunny Girl Senpai. There's always stuff happening. Like Slime, they have 26 episodes, so they're stretching a little bit. But with Bunny Girl, they're adapting, like, each book is 3 episodes. So they're...
Slime looks great. Slime still looks fantastic, but it's just in a slow part right now where they're building up to the next battle.
Yeah.
Bunny Girl doesn't have that time. Every episode has heaters and is important. And that first arc could have been its own anime. It was so impressive. Like, I will say, nothing looks as gorgeous as Made in Abyss did. Nothing else. This look like Slime is probably the best looking show on this list, and it doesn't match up to Made in Abyss for looks. Freeman, I mentioned this only because I made Val open up the Made in Abyss box you got her.
Yeah.
And she actually saw all the cool extras and stuff that she didn't even realize were in there. She thought it was just a fancy Blu-ray box.
Oh no, this is the deluxe.
You're welcome that she has now seen all the cool stuff. She really loved the lanyard, actually. Other than that, Haikyuu. Val and I watched Haikyuu this year, and Haikyuu blew our fucking socks off. That show's really
probably
great.
the best sports anime out there. Controversial statement, but probably is.
I still have the YouTube video that is the 5 full songs for the openings as one of the things I listen to most for just having music on in the background is those 5 songs. I fucking love that show. Cells at Work, again, Freeman said we are going to try to cosplay it possibly or do something from... Probably do Cells at Work. We're going to try to do it when Freeman and Luigi visit us in June next year for the convention. Fucking hype about that. And Cells at Work was just great. It was so much fun. Even though I don't remember any of the stuff I learned, the fact that it was learning, and except for a few slowdown moments, it really was fantastic and just fun to watch. Miss Kobayashi, Val and I watched this year, and was really, really, really good. It was really fun, even though... For me, coming off Konosuba, which is not on my list, fucking the fact that I was able to enjoy Dragon Girl, I think actually counts better for it because I was coming off of being angry at Konosuba all the time. So watching Dragon Maid, another slice of life-ish show / not like an isekai, but like the same kind of, you know what I mean, like cast of characters that all have their own quirks and stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that I was able to enjoy Dragon Maid so much off of Konosuba frustrating me 90% of the time speaks to its favor. And then Food Wars, like Freeman said, still one of my favorite shows. The only show that we had been watching at the start of this year that we continued into this year. Partially because we just haven't built up anime like Freeman has that we watch as it goes on. But Food Wars and My Hero...
It's starting to become...
My Hero was really good.
Eventually becomes a liability where you have so many shows where you've seen the earlier shows, you just need to watch all the sequels in the season. Like, I'm not going to lie, Q2 of this year, there were like 9 sequels to series that I'd watched over the course of the time where it's like, shit, gotta watch all of them.
But yeah, that's all of it. Just as an addendum, I wanted to just add... I actually had through 3 books. I realized I only bought 3 books this year that had come out this year. But I wanted to tag them on. If that's okay.
Go ahead.
Since I know, Freeman, I know you don't read much, and Tyler, I know you didn't read anything because busyness, playing video games.
I read.
Did you read anything new?
Altered Carbon and Dresden Files short stories.
Okay, yeah, Briefcases was on here for me too.
See?
Briefcases was pretty good, but still just waiting for any word on fucking Peace Talks because holy fuck, do I need to read Peace Talks already? And the only other 2 were kind of minor stuff, but the last Witcher novel came out, Season of Storms, came out this year. I read it a while ago. Witcher kind of lost me a little bit. Tyler, I don't know if you got to the part where Ciri kind of...
I'm bad. I don't know.
It kind of comes up in Witcher 3, but there's like this whole period where Ciri does lots of portals and time travel shit. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where Witcher kind of lost me in the books, and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on right now? This is so weird." It's one of those weird, trippy things. But Season of Storms kind of reins that back in a little bit, and it was pretty good. And then there's a series I've been reading for a few years now, called Men of Valor, which is a space. Space war book series that I actually really, really enjoy. Tyler, if you ever want to read something, I would actually recommend you try it. But
all right. After I get through my stack.
Yes, for sure. The author came out with another short story novelette this year called Hunters of Vermin, and I really enjoyed that. But I also really enjoy that universe.
Wait, Hunters of
especially
Vermin.
'cause-
Isn't that just Goblin Slayer?
No. Yeah, it's a series by H. Paul Hansinger, and I actually really enjoy it. And it's a really minor series. Like, the guy has like this super old looking website and everything like that, and it's not updated super much. And he does like a minor podcast and things like that. But I really enjoy the books, and yeah, so I just wanted to throw those two in there. But with that, I think that's all of our 2018. Do you guys have anything else you want to add before we close it? Since I know we got to kind of, we've been going for over 2 hours.
Nothing.
I think that's it for
I'm
2018.
boring.
There's a lot of good, entertaining things that happened, and a good number of them were Japanese. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, overall, I think it's important to remember that there was a lot of cool stuff that came out this year. And maybe when we start off in 2019, we'll do like a preview of things that are coming in the year that we're excited for, even though we've talked about a lot of them whenever they got announced. But I don't know. We could do that as a topic too. Just sit down and be like, hey, here's what's coming in 2019 that seems really cool. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for the last show of 2018. Thank you all very much for listening. It's been a very up and down year with us missing weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
I can't speak to what next year is going to look like since, we have lots of changes coming. Friedman got his promotion at work. Tyler's moving again, and who knows what the fuck's going on with my job at any given time. So I'm sure 2019 will be a fascinating year for us as much as it is for you guys, but we'll do our best to keep bringing you the show. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and an enjoyable New Year. And this is Tim.
This is Friedman.
And just Tyler.
And we will see you guys in 2019. Thanks for listening.